Third Temple Series, Episode 5, The Temple and the Timeline of Revelation. For thousands of years, people have debated the meaning of the mysterious visions recorded in the final book of the Bible. A book filled with symbols, beasts, trumpets, judgment, but hidden inside those visions is a detail many people overlook: a temple. And according to the prophecy, that temple appears during the very events described in the book of Revelation, which raises a fascinating question. If those events are still the future, does the third temple have to exist first? Have you ever wondered about the end times and what they might look like? The book of Revelation gives us some incredible and sometimes puzzling glimpses into the future. Let's dive into chapter 11, where the Apostle John describes a fascinating vision. Imagine this: John is handed a measuring rod, like a tape measure, and given a specific task. He's told to measure the temple of God, the altar, and count the people worshipping inside. This implies a physical, functioning temple exists during this future time. But then, the instructions get strange. He is specifically told not to measure the outer court, the area outside the main temple building. Why? Because as the prophecy says, it will be given to the nations, and the holy city of Jerusalem will be trampled for 42 months. This single passage opens up a mind-blowing possibility. It strongly suggests that a temple will once again stand in Jerusalem, playing a crucial role in the events of Revelation. And the story doesn't stop there. The very same chapter introduces two mysterious figures, often called the two witnesses. They appear in Jerusalem and begin a powerful ministry, prophesying for 1,260 days, the exact same length of time as the 42 months mentioned earlier. Their mission unfolds right there in the holy city, the same place where the temple is being measured. This connection is remarkable. It paints a picture where the rebuilt temple becomes the central stage. For some of the most dramatic events in all of biblical prophecy, think about the implications. A temple in Jerusalem, a powerful prophetic ministry, and a clear timeline all laid out thousands of years ago. It shows us that these ancient texts might be more relevant to our future than we ever imagined. The details are specific, the location is clear, and it all points to a future where Jerusalem is once again at the very center of world events. As we explore these prophecies, it's not about fear, but about understanding the incredible depth and foresight found in the Bible. It encourages us to watch, to learn, and to see how these ancient words might be unfolding even in our lifetime. Have you ever noticed a peculiar number popping up in biblical prophecy? It's a fascinating pattern that has caught the attention of scholars for centuries. When you look closely at certain prophetic timelines, you'll find several distinct but seemingly related periods mentioned. We're talking about 42 months. Then there's 1,260 days. And finally, the more cryptic phrase, a time times and half a time. Now, if you do the math, something interesting emerges. Assuming a 30-day month, which was common in ancient calendars, 42 months equals exactly 1,260 days. And what about a time times and half a time? Many scholars interpret a time as 1 year, times as 2 years, and half a time as half a year. Add them up and you get 3.5 years, which again is equivalent to 42 months or 1,260 days. It seems these aren't just random numbers. They appear to be pointing to the very same specific period. This synchronization across different books of the Bible is pretty remarkable, isn't it? It suggests a deliberate and interconnected message. But what exactly happens during this 3.5-year window? Well, that's where another key element comes into play: the temple. Throughout these prophetic discussions, the temple is mentioned repeatedly. Its presence is not just incidental. It seems to be a central stage for the events of this period. This has led many interpreters to believe that activities surrounding a future temple could be a critical signpost, a key piece of the puzzle in understanding how this timeline unfolds. The focus on the temple suggests it will be a place of immense significance during this crucial 42-month countdown. But the story doesn't end there. In fact, it builds to an even more dramatic moment, a moment that could change everything. We've previously talked about a prophecy known as the abomination of desolation. This is a term first introduced by the prophet Daniel and later referenced by Jesus Christ himself in the New Testament. It describes a profound event, a pivotal moment in the prophetic narrative. Many interpretations place this specific event right around the midpoint of the 3.5-year timeline we've been discussing. Think about that for a second. If this interpretation is correct, it means the abomination of desolation isn't the beginning or the end, but a major turning point. It could be the catalyst that marks a dramatic acceleration of global events. Suddenly, the pace of everything described in the book of Revelation could shift into high gear. And guess what becomes the focal point of all this? The temple. The prophecies suggest that at this moment, the temple will suddenly be thrust onto the world stage, becoming the absolute center of international attention. It transforms from a place of worship or a symbol of faith into the epicenter of a global crisis. The events that happen there could trigger a chain reaction, affecting every nation and every person on the planet. This turning point is so significant because it signals a fundamental shift in the spiritual and geopolitical landscape. It's the moment the prophetic clock seems to tick louder and faster. What starts as a specific event in a specific location quickly escalates into something with worldwide implications. The attention of every news outlet, every world leader, and every person will be drawn to what is happening at the temple. So, as we piece together these prophetic clues, the 42 months, the central role of the temple, and the pivotal moment of the abomination of desolation, a clearer picture begins to form. We see a carefully structured timeline, not of chaos, but of events unfolding in a specific sequence. This 3.5-year period is marked by a clear beginning, a dramatic midpoint, and a powerful conclusion. Understanding this structure helps us see that these ancient prophecies might be more like a roadmap than a random collection of warnings. They offer a framework for understanding what may lie ahead. The recurring numbers aren't a coincidence. They're markers on a journey, and the temple isn't just a building. It's the stage upon which one of the most significant dramas in history is set to unfold. As we continue to explore these topics, we'll see how each piece fits together, revealing a narrative of incredible depth and significance. Did you know there's one single detail connecting countless ancient stories, prophecies, and historical events? It's a building, specifically a temple in Jerusalem. Even today, the idea of rebuilding this temple sparks fascination and debate all around the world. It's a topic that captures global attention for a reason. Groups like the Temple Institute aren't just talking about it, they're actively preparing. They've already crafted the special priestly garments, the sacred vessels, and many other items needed for ancient temple worship. For some, these actions are simply about preserving a rich religious tradition and keeping history alive. But for others, these preparations are much more. They see them as potential puzzle pieces falling into place, part of a prophecy that has been discussed and analyzed for centuries. This isn't just a historical curiosity. It's a living, breathing issue with deep modern implications. But this brings us to the biggest mystery of all, the one we haven't touched on yet. What would actually happen if the temple were rebuilt? Just try to imagine it. You wake up tomorrow and the top headline reads, "Construction begins on the third temple in Jerusalem." Instantly, the entire world's focus would shift to one single location, the Temple Mount. The geopolitical landscape would change in a heartbeat. Religious leaders from every faith would fiercely debate its meaning and significance. Political leaders and governments worldwide would have to weigh the immense consequences of such an event. And for millions who watch for signs of prophecy, one single question would echo louder than any other, a question that has been asked throughout history. Could this be it? Could this be the moment that sets in motion the final events described in texts thousands of years ago? The rebuilding of the temple isn't just about stone and mortar. It's about a convergence of history, faith, and prophecy that could reshape our world. What do you think would happen? Because in the final episode of this series, we explore the question many people are afraid to ask. What would actually happen if the third temple were built? Would it fulfill prophecy? Would it unite believers? Or could it trigger one of the most dangerous religious conflicts in modern history? But before we go there, I want to hear from you. If construction of the third temple began tomorrow, would you see it as a historic religious event? Or as the possible beginning of something far bigger? This is the Watchman Record. Thank you for watching. Leave any comments below and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.